I've been working on an unfinished dream for over 2 years. I believe since November of 2007. After 80 hours of footage and just constant filming anything and everything. I was paying for everything, paying like crew, basically all the production expenses. And then when I ran out of money, I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna have to buy a camera and just like shoot it myself, or have the director shoot it. So a lot of it is shot by both myself and the director, as well as several other people who either we paid or I paid, or they donated their time for this great cause. And so basically the process went from just an idea, from when I met a student when I transferred to UCLA, Betsy. She's in the documentary. I met her and we became instant friends, and we had so many things in common, and so I was really shocked, and I couldn't believe that she was undocumented. Not because of the fact that she was undocumented, but that it was so prevalent that this was affecting an entire population of students. It was through her as the inspiration, and also meeting the director, Andrea, that it just kind of, we started working together and following students everywhere. It was really hard though, because students didn't really want to talk to us at first, because it's kind of, if they're found out, they can be deported. And so the fact that we're able to show their faces, but not their real names, it's, I guess they trusted us with filming them and with really being respectful of them, as human beings, I didn't know about this issue until 2007, and, even though my family, when I was younger, half of my family was undocumented, and I am privileged to be born here, I kind of grew up, with that fear of deportation anyway, There's a fear of my friend Betsy being deported, because she can get pulled over, and they could take her in, and then, ICE can check you out in the jails. And then the jails basically are under the 287G agreements through the Homeland Security. They can now check your immigration status once you've been booked, specifically here in LA. So my good friend, who I went to school with, who I graduated from UCLA with, could be deported to a country that she doesn't even remember. And so that's why it was so important that we tell the stories and try to be as respectful to them as possible, but also trying to be balanced in the way that we're telling the stories. Trying to show both sides. The anti-immigrant groups wouldn't talk to us. I think it was the trailer. For about a year on unfinishedstream.com, we posted, if you have anything to tell us, please let us know. This was specifically targeted to them, this message. Let us know, talk to us. We want you to come out and, tell us your side, because, it's good to show both sides, right? And they wouldn't do it. The DREAM Act is basically, the momentum has kind of slowed down because the comprehensive immigration reform debate has overshadowed it. And unfortunately, because it's lumped in under that, there's a fear that it could go away with it if there's no immigration reform. And so that's what the big fight was about, making it a separate piece of legislation so that the students could at least become legalized. Because, through no fault of their own, they were brought here as children, and now they were in this situation. We meet students from Mongolia, Vietnam, Fiji, Guatemala, Argentina, Mexico, Pakistan, Korea, and so there's students from so many different countries, trying to show the different faces of who it affects, because we don't want to play into that stereotype of it's a brown problem. I want everybody to see it, but like I said before, it's a long process and it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And money.
And a labor of love.
It definitely is a labor of love. You know what I'd really like to say is, if you guys can go to dreamactivist.org and donate money. The students who run that, they're all Dream students. They work for free, and they could really use, the funding so that they can continue their national support of Dream students all over the country. Because remember, 65,000 undocumented high school students graduate every single year from the United States. And only a very small percentage of them actually go on to higher education. Specifically in California, 1% of undocumented students actually go on to higher education. It's just ridiculous. We should all be able to have equal access to education.
Cool. Thank you very much, Margarita Reyes.